Hey guys, it is Kodo Craftster and I'm back with a process video, and as you can see it is a 12 by 12 traditional scrapbook layout. So I decided to get back into traditional scrapbooking is because I do have two traditional scrapbook albums that need to be filled up because I feel bad for them. So I picked out embellishments that I used in my December Daily 2017. So this will be a Christmas themed layout. And I also plan to use this ticket that I made from using the Tim Holtz ticket dies and stamp. And then there's these little tiny acetate pieces from Kelly Perky from her December Daily kit that I really want to use up, but I only use like half of that for this layout. And then there's some older Pink Fresh Studio Christmas Wishes collection, like the puffy stickers and the ephemera. I actually don't use those craft stickers, which I wish I did. And then I picked out 4 different stamp sets. 3 of them are Christmas themed, but for the Ellie Studio one I actually don't use in this layout, but the Pink Fresh Studio one I do use quite a bit in this one. So this photo is from December 19, 2014, so about 5 years ago. And if you don't know, this is your first time watching one of my videos, I did live in the Philippines for 1 year. I attended med school there. And this is my group of friends that I really love and miss. So from left to right, so the first person is me. And then right next to me is Emery, and then Tanya and Sid. So I wanted to do some mixed media here because I haven't used this Heidi Swap spray in a very long time. And on top of that, in some of the snowflakes, there's a little bit of mint green in it. So I wanted to bring that color out just a little bit more. And I will be using those acetate sequin pieces in the middle of some of those snowflakes, but I was only able to use the ones that had the same colors as the ones on the paper, because some of the sequins there's like pink and then like an olive green, so it just unfortunately, like I said, I couldn't use all of them, but I wish I did because I'm starting to hate really tiny ephemera pieces. But anyways, so the good thing about being able to just directly put adhesive on these acetate pieces is because they're colored and you cannot see the adhesive compared to like other acetate ephemeras. So I didn't have to worry about that. So this is where I start deciding, okay, this is where I should place it because it's not covering any of the snowflakes that has the sequins. And I do add a little bit more of that splatter because since it's a large photo, it looked like it was going to cover most of the splatter. So that's why I had to add a little bit more. So there's, the splatter is really visible. So I go through the ephemera pack, and unfortunately, I was only able to use, I think, 1 ephemera. But you'll see me throughout this whole video deciding between like several pieces, because as you guys well know, I only do Project Life layouts, and for me it's difficult to do a very large 12 by 12 paper. I mean, for me it's very intimidating, but I do like a challenge, and I like the fact that I am using a 12 by 12 paper as a whole instead of just cutting it into pieces and then you have a lot more leftovers in smaller pieces, and then they build up because of their scraps and you got to decide what to do with them, and I'm at the point where I really hate scraps now. I mean, I try to use them as much as possible, but it's just you know how it is, girls. But anyways, I was thinking of adding those frames with the words inside of it, but like I said, I don't use them because I felt like the right side was going to be empty. And then I put the deers to the left side because I couldn't decide which deer I wanted, but I do put one of them at the bottom left corner of that page. So for this ticket here, I wanted to use this Santa stamp from the Bakarda stamp set that I had. And I had to stamp it twice because the first time I didn't put enough pressure in the middle part of that stamp. And I wanted to put a word above that Santa in that ticket. And what I really love about these Tim Holtz ticket dies is that you don't always have to use the coordinating stamps. You can actually just die cut the ticket and then you can decorate the ticket however you would like it, using whichever stamps you want, or even just adding embellishments to it. So that's what I really love about those Tim Holtz dies. So I used the Pink Fresh Studio December Days stamp set, and what I love is that there's coordinating dies with this stamp set. I'm really liking, or I'm at the point where I prefer to buy stamp sets that have coordinating dies. Now, if I really do like the design of the stamp set and there's no coordinating die with that, I would be okay with that. But for me, like, I mean, I don't mind fussy cutting if it's just a straight edge type of embellishment, but I try to avoid fussy cutting as much as possible. But anyways, so I do add those tickets at the top right corner of that photo, and I put it right behind it because I knew if I put it on top of it, it would just look weird. So it gives it more texture to it when you layer it. So I wanted to use that Merry Christmas ephemera, but it just looked awkward. And I mean, actually, I would have been able to put it in one of the corners on that page, maybe. But at that time, it just felt like it was awkward if I put it somewhere around the photo. So I do finally pick one of the deers with the red bow because the deer is actually outlined in black, so it really pops compared to the gray deer. And there is a puffy one, but I just didn't like that the gray puffy would just be too much gray in there. So I do stamp above that deer another word stamp, and when I was putting the ticket down, I kind of smudged it a little bit. I guess the ink didn't dry all the way, so there was a little bit of a black stain or smudge, I should say, close to the photo. So I decided to cover it up with a puffy sticker. And then this is where I stamp the date at the top right corner. And then what happens next? Oh, so I wanted to also use that Joy to the World, and I almost put those two pieces of ephemera because it does look good when I look at it right now. And maybe I should have. I think I should have done that. But at the time, I really felt like, I'm like, you know what? I don't want my page to look like it's all over the place. Like there's no order, I guess. So I couldn't decide. I wanted to put a little banner underneath, or like towards the bottom of that photo. So I couldn't decide which pattern paper would look good. So I picked out 3 pattern papers, and I did have some red Christmas ribbons left over from 2017, and I wanted to put that underneath the banner just to give it a little bit more texture. But I didn't like the first ribbon, so I picked out this shimmery red ribbon. And the first time I made it too short, as you can see here, because it looks like the die cut covers most of it. So I will go back and cut a longer piece. And since the die cut already has like fork ends, I don't know how else to explain that banner, but or split ends at each end of the banner, I thought the ribbon would look better if it was from, in a diagonal cut instead of like a fork cut, I guess. So I put that down, or I committed to the page, and then I put the banner on top, but I decided to make the banner dimensional because I keep forgetting about these pop dots. As you can tell in my process videos, I don't use a lot of dimensions compared to like puffy stickers, chipboard, wood veneers, which I keep forgetting about. So even enamel dots, like I have so much enamel dots and I keep forgetting to use them. So that's something I have to keep in mind whenever I do these process videos. So I put the banner on top, and I decided to use these alpha stickers from that Keepin' Cozy Echo Part sticker sheet, and I titled it My Bakarda. Now, since this is based in the Philippines, I wanted to use a lot of Filipino terms in this layout. So Bakarda means group of friends or group of close friends. So Emery, Tanya, and Sid are my very, very close group of friends. And there is one more member, but at the time she wasn't part of our Bakarda. So she did become part of it the next year. So unfortunately, we don't have a photo of all 5 of us together. So I do stamp Mahal Kita right next to the ticket above the photo, because I really love that Tagalog stamp set from Mommy Lay, but it's just hard to use when you don't have enough photos from the Philippines. But I do have a lot of photos from the Philippines that I'm going to use for the scrapbook layouts. So that's the only time I'll be able to use it. And Mahal Kita means I love you in Tagalog. So that's pretty much it for the scrapbook process video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.